Cracka Lack on the track.
Welcome to Destined for Greatness podcast. I got another one. Let's go. Today, I will be interviewing Cracka Lack on the track. Lansing Zone, y'all stand up. Welcome to Destined for Greatness podcast. I am your host, D Wood. I got another one. I'm gonna give y'all a second to come up in here. Welcome to Destined for Greatness podcast. Yeah. Tune in every Tuesday and Thursday at 7. I got guests like this. And if you're new, make sure you follow the page, Destined for Greatness podcast. Welcome. Without any further ado, let me introduce my guest, Mr. Cracka Lack. On the track.
Yeah.
How you doing, my brother? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I love the name of the podcast too, Destined for Greatness.
Yes, sir, man. We all destined for greatness, and you're definitely destined for greatness, man. That's why I have you on here. So like I tell every guest, no one can introduce themselves better than themselves. So for those that do not know you, sir, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, so this is what I say when, let's say I go to the doctor and they're like, where do you work at? And I say, okay, let me try to explain it like this. So what I say is, if you were a rapper, any and everything that you need is the services that I provide for a living. So if you're a music artist, you need beats to make songs to. I've been making beats for 17 years nonstop. I have CrackaLackBeats.com and I sell beats. Well, after you have the beat and you write a song to it, the next step is you need a studio to get the song recorded, mixed, and mastered. I own Crack House Recording Studio here in Lansing, Michigan. And then now you have a song done. What's next? You want to shoot a music video to it. So I traveled around the United States and I shoot music videos for artists. And then I would say after that, once you have a finished project, like an album or a mixtape, and you actually want to get physical copies in your hand where you say, hey, I got a CD for sale, $5, $10, whatever. I own $1 CD Duplication.com. CDs are still around, trust me. But I started that company 8 years ago. And then kind of after that, I've been doing YouTube. So I have the Cracka Lack TV where I document my journey and bring people along for my journey. And I teach other people how to do the things that I know how to do along the way. So I have the YouTube channel, Cracka Lack TV. We're about to hit 50,000 subscribers. And then I would say outside of that, I did start a podcast last year, Free Game with Crack. I'm going to start it back this year. Me and you were just talking before we started this podcast about kind of your setup and things like that. So those are the things that I do as of today. I'm sure I'm going to continue to evolve and find new things. And I am in the process of starting a few new business websites, and then also courses and education and knowledge. I tell people, I'm sure we can talk about this later on, but if I was 16 or 17 years old today, and let's say what I wanted to be when I grew up was a music producer or a guy that shoots music videos or someone that looks up to me or whatever, other guys like me, guys way above me, college isn't the move in my opinion, right? You know, it's a huge lump sum of money, and we're talking 40, 50, $60,000, huge burden. But nowadays they have these things called courses where it's guys like myself. So you're not learning from a teacher that makes 30, 40, $50,000 a year, and he's teaching you about how to do business, and you want to be a millionaire, but you're learning from a guy that's teaching you at 50,000, and God bless their hearts, because you know they're giving back honestly. But I would rather pay a guy that's making $1 million a year for his $3,000 course where I can learn specifically from him, because I look up to him and he's doing it here today, not the blueprint that worked in 1995 or something like that. Like it's 2021. So social media, things like that. If I'm going, I wonder if in college, if you go to business college today, if they're talking about Instagram ads and, you know, click funnels and upsells and cross sells and things like that. I'm curious, but
Makes a lot of sense what you're saying, for sure.
so yeah, that's kind of a thing that I'm in the process of putting together over the next like 1 to 2 months, is, you know, courses and things like that.
Okay, so we can start right there, but we're definitely going to start back. But since you're there, I kind of want to speak on that. What kind of, okay, so you're talking about courses. How much are you thinking of charging? Is it a monthly? Is it a membership fee? Or is it something that they'll pay a one-time fee if they were to join your course to get the information from you for some of the different things that you are a part of, like for your videography or maybe your sound engineering or even production?
Yeah, so a little bit of all of the above, because okay, so last year I started doing one-on-one coaching calls, which was dope because there's guys that I watch on YouTube where, let's say he's got a YouTube tutorial on like lighting for music videos, and I watch it and I'm like, okay, this guy knows what he's talking about. I like him. And then he's got another video and I learned something from it. I like him. But we're all unique in our own ways. And what if I have my own unique specific problems that I really want to get this guy's input on, because I feel like he can help me?
I run into that problem all the time. That's
Exactly. I wish some of these people that I looked up to offered like a one-on-one where I could just pay them for their time to get one-on-one advice specific to my own needs, not just like general advice on these things. So last year I started doing coaching calls, but the main thing that I noticed was a lot of people had the same issues, whether they were a music producer, a music artist, a videographer, a guy that did architects and blueprints for building houses. They all lacked having a brand and marketing themselves. So I'm like, okay, right there, I need to have a course where I sit down, I do all the hard work at one time, and I package this. Here's everything that I know about branding yourself. Okay, here's another course where here's everything that I know about marketing. Obviously, I'm a businessman. You know, you buy one, you get half off the other, or some sort of bundle deal. So that's a one-time thing. I don't know a price point yet, but
yes,
that won't be like a subscription or an ongoing thing. It's just a one and done. Here's the course, you buy it, you go through it whenever you want at your own pace, and here it is. And then as far as like the ongoing subscription monthly type of thing, I just spoke with a guy today, and what his advice, because what I was telling him is, there is such thing as information overload. So because what I was doing at first was hour-long coaching calls. And so I'm trying to give people, you know, years and years and years of advice. And I'm talking about Facebook pixels and lookalike audiences and retargeting ads. And they're hitting me with like, yo, I'm trying to get more fans. I'm trying to get more views on my music video. But I'm going so in depth that it's like information overload, where I'm like, okay, they're actually leaving this call overwhelmed, and they don't feel like they got their money's worth, because I gave them so much information that they didn't comprehend or understand it at all. So I would be much better off doing like, okay, here's the deal. I'm gonna work with you every single week for like 12 weeks or 16 weeks. So I'm gonna spread this information out over the next 3 to 4 months instead of trying to, here's all the information in 1 hour and you're like, what just happened? So that's a thing that I'm in the process of putting together as well too.
So that's, I definitely wanted to touch base because I didn't want us to forget that. But I would love to hear about your beginnings, right? So so are you born and raised from Lansing, Michigan, or did you move there at a certain age?
Nope, I lived here my whole life.
That's what's up. So that's what's crazy to a lot of people is that we've both been born and raised in Lansing. We really just met each other.
Right now, yeah.
Right now, we just met each other, and we met through hard work. We met each other working, basically, because it wasn't like the traditional way. Because I'm not in Lansing, I don't just go to the studio and record with you. You know what I'm saying? It came from me watching you work hard. The work that you put in is you're driven. If I could give you any word that I could give Cracka Lack, it would be you're definitely a driven individual. And one of the things that sticks out of my mind the most about you is you made a post one time, I don't know if it was on Instagram, and you and your girl were driving through beautiful neighborhoods, and you were telling her, like, one day, baby, we're going to get that. And I made a message to you. And I don't know if you knew it was me. I'm like, nah, that one day is happening real soon, my brother. I see it because of your work ethic. You know what I'm saying? Because the way you work is going to pay off. I just want to give you your rose right now and tell you, bro, people are peeping that, man. Keep it up.
Thank you.
So let's talk about family right now, man. So you were born in Lansing. What school did you go to? Let me know about you. I don't know much about you, man. Come on, let me know.
Yeah, so just outside of Lansing, there's Holt, and I went to Holt High School. I graduated.
My daughter graduated from Holt.
Okay, yeah, Holt's all right. It's not bad, It's still school, so I hated it, but Holt's all right. But yeah, I graduated in 2006 from Holt.
All right, you ain't play no sports or nothing? Just always music?
Well, I played sports from pretty much like when you could start playing sports, like kindergarten, up until once you get into 11th grade. And now you're not just playing with your own class. It's 11th and 12th. Well, when I was just playing with my own class, I was barely good enough to play type stuff. So when it comes to like not just being good enough to play with your own grade, but the grade ahead, like, and I feel like I've always had really good self-awareness as far as like
what's good for you.
I kind of like stepped back and looked at it, around the same time they're going around the classroom. Devin, what do you want to be when you get older? And you're like, a police officer. The next person, I want to be a teacher. I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a dentist. I had no idea what I wanted to be. And right around the same time, I started doing music. And I'm like, I want to be a famous rapper or world famous music producer. And everyone had this, I'm going to Michigan State. I'm going to Michigan. I'm going to LCC. And I'm just thinking, I hate school. I'm aware that if I'm in the studio with Lil Wayne and my beats are fire, he's not saying, do you have a degree in producing? No, you don't need that piece of paper from school to accomplish that. So
basically, yeah. You lived off your talent. So basically, like, you already knew what your talent was, and from there you were just driven from like, all right, I know that this isn't for me. This isn't for me. But so when you started doing music, how did it start though? Like, did you start at your home, in your basement, in your room? Everybody got a story, man. So when the Crack make his first beat and you probably was an MC, because if you was making beats, most producers started off because they wanted some beats, so they started making it themselves. So how did that happen for you? That's my story, at least.
Well, yeah, just to fix you said I knew I had the skill. I had no skill. I had the interest, I was interested in that. And it was something that I could see myself doing long term. But did I have the skill or talent? Like, no, I was the worst one in my circle of friends that were doing it. But I was the most, how you said, driven. I've been doing it nonstop ever since when I started. So, when we both started, yeah, they were super good, talented. I was the worst one, but I was the most interested. So that's why I'm really big on work ethic, because that's something that we can control. I couldn't control that they had more rhythm than me, or they just naturally thought of lyrics or were talented on the piano and stuff. Like, I couldn't control that, but what I could control was my practice, how much I did it, research, learning, asking people questions. And so that's something that I still do to this day.
Around what age were you?
So I was 15 when I started, and like you said, we all start as rappers.
Yeah, come on, man, let's keep it real.
I feel like I kind of went by like Cracka the Rapper. It was like Cracka the Rapper.
Cracka the Rapper. Okay, wow. I'm
And
glad you dropped that one, dude.
yeah, I remember when I first started doing some shows, and this was like right out of high school when I was 18. And I'm doing shows in the middle of Detroit. A lot of times I'm the only like white guy there, and my name is Cracka Lack. Uh, as far as the whole name, I tell people I used to hate my name and be so embarrassed, or music's loud in the club, and they're like, uh, "Good, good shit, bro. What's your name?" And I'm like, Cracka Lack. Like, Cracka what? Cracka Lack. Cracka Lacka? It's Cracka Lack. And that was I used to be like, oh, I wish I just had a cool name. Like, my real name is Nick. So like if it was Nick Money or Cash Nick, Nicky Cash, some sort of cool name like that. But here we are 17 years later, and I love the fact that my name is Cracka Lack, and I branded it, I've owned it, and now I know more things about branding and SEO. And if my name was like Nick Money or Nick Beats or Nicky Cash, I would have a hard time on Google standing out. But with Cracka Lack, like I said, I
there's
own
not
it.
too many. There's not too many Cracka Lacks. You know what I'm saying? You're probably the only one. If anything, somebody tried to already duplicate it. And I ain't gonna lie, man. You're not playing about protecting your name, because I tried to go on Google to try to take a picture of you just to put it on the show. You can't copy no image of Cracka Lack.
Dang, you should be able to.
You can't, bro. I don't know what you done did. Whatever you said, it was knowing your stuff. It worked.
Okay.
You can't just take images of you, man. But so now you into the studio. You at home, probably getting on your parents' nerves, banging the music, having friends coming over. So now, when do you actually start? When do you have your first studio? Studio, you're actually selling time, you're selling beats, and you're doing something with it.
Yeah, so I would say 15 to about 17, 18. When I graduated, it was the bedroom, and then I was the friend that had the studio. And so how I learned how to do the skills was, let's say my circle of 5 or 6 friends that were into making music, everyone was like rapping, but no one was really interested in making the beats. And back in 2003, 4, or 5, it wasn't like you can go to YouTube and put Kevin Gates type beat or things like that.
Exactly. It's totally different game.
Totally different games. You damn near had to just make a beat or like beatbox or things like that. So I started using FL Studio. It was like back then it was like FL Studio 3 or something. And I was the one that bought a microphone and interface, and so I had the home studio in the bedroom. 18 is when I first got any type of money from it. And it was just like a friend that heard my mixtape, and his cousin rapped and was like, "Oh, you make beats? How much?" And I'm like, "Oh crap, here we go. $5."
$5. What year was that? It was what had to be like 2000? I mean,
no, this is like 2005, 2006.
2005. Okay.
But yeah, my first beat I sold was like $5, and
okay,
that led to, I think my barber at the time had a friend that rapped, and he knew that I did music, and it was kind of a thing where, so just to put this out there too, from 17 to 22 is when I stopped rapping. So in those 5 years, I put out 16 full-length albums. So you know how people say, man, if I had my own studio, I would never leave. And it's like, that's what I did. Literally, I had a marker board every single day. It was write a song or make a beat, write a song, record a song, mix a song. And I did that every single day. So I got lots of practice. So as far as at the very end, the outcome being good at making beats, well, of course, I did it so long. It's almost impossible to not be good at making beats if you make beats that much. And then the same thing with recording, mixing, and mastering songs. Whether you like my music or not, I feel like people have always respected, the output that I did, and the fact that if they seen me and, I'm on CD 13, while most rappers were on like working on their first CD or never came out with a CD, or maybe that one CD every 3 or 4 years, I'm dropping a CD every couple months, and I'm making every single beat, recording and mixing every single song. I learned about CD duplication because I needed CD duplication and couldn't afford real CD duplication. And the same thing with videos. I had my girlfriend at the time hold the camera. I couldn't afford to have someone else to shoot my videos. So then I just learned how to edit it, put it together, and people ended up seeing my own product. So I always refer to my rap career as college, because doing those 16 albums, shooting all of my own music videos, all those thousands of beats that I made, it put me in a position to develop the skill to then go on and take that and make a living for the rest of my life with it.
So I don't want you to jump past the duplication, man. So when did you start getting into that? Was that around the same time? Not necessarily your company, but did you start duplicating music for like other people that will come to your studio? Is that kind of how it began? Is that you just started duplicating the people that you were recording?
Yeah, so I guess it would start with doing my own duplication. And back then, I used to get like the sticker. You know, like Office Max would sell the sheet of stickers, and you would
got CDs like that to this day still.
Yeah, the CD Stomper is what it was called. But I did those, and then other people, you know, local rappers would need copies of theirs, you know, that they were recording at my CD or at my studio. So then it was like, okay, I got a customer here. And one thing that I've learned in business, one of the hardest things is to get customers. So once you have a customer, like that's the hard part. You have a customer that this person is comfortable enough with you to spend some money with you, whether it's just studio time or just a beat or just a music video. So once you have them in the door, it's like, what else do they need? They're here for studio time. That's it. Hey man, I make beats. I know you need beats too. Oh, let me hear what you got. You know, now am I not only getting some money from doing some studio time, but also selling them some beats. And then once they have a finished project and they needed the copies, I started doing that. I know you asked me about the CD duplication story. So
no, I want you to keep going. Keep going.
Yeah. I used to, when I first started it, before I had any machines or nothing like that, my dad had a laptop, and then I had 2 desktops, and I used to have kind of like an L-shaped area. And then Office Max, they sold it was like a $50 printer that would inkjet print 1 CD at a time. And so what I would do is, let's say you're getting 100 copies pressed up. I set one machine to make, like, let's say 40 copies, or one computer to make 40 copies, and it'll just keep opening up every time a CD's burned. I set the computer next to it to do 40 copies, and I got my dad's laptop doing 20 copies. So I sit there for about an hour and a half, and every time one of the CD open up, I take the CD out, put a new CD in, and then I bend down on the ground and I manually put it in the printer, and I click print, and it prints 1 CD out. And then right when it gets done printing, I put it in the case, grab the cover, close it, set it aside. And I would do that for about 2 hours to do 100 CDs. And back then, I wasn't like getting to the plug of CDs where I'm getting pallets and getting low prices. I'm going to Office Max paying like $25 for 100 pack of CDs.
So like the regular price, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm barely making maybe like $25 on 100 copies, and I'm doing 100 copies for $100. Very affordable. And I'm profiting about $25 at the time. And I just looked at it like, this is 2009. I'm making $12.50 an hour. It's taking me 2 hours to do this. This beats a job. So I'll keep manually doing it. Well, I remember, shout out to what he goes by now as Ahmad the God. But back then it was like Ahmad, Mr. Northern Dope. He's a Lansing artist.
Yes,
he came to me and was like, yo, how much for 1,000 copies? And I'm like, oh man, everyone normally gets 100 copies. This dude wants 1,000 copies. Oh man, I'm gonna be sitting at the computer all night. And I did it, and then that's when I realized, like, man, people want studio time, but I can't do the studio time because I'm manually sitting here doing all these CDs.
Gotta outsource.
People at the time wanted some beats or were interested in shooting music videos. I can't do any of that because I'm trapped here doing the CDs manually. Well, I found out they had these automated machines, and at the time they were like 3,500, 3,200, and you could put 100 CDs in. So it was doing the same process that I was doing before, but now it's automated. I put 100 CDs in, click start, it'll pick up the CD, put it in the burner, burn it, pick it up. But it was $3,500, yes, and I had exactly $3,500. So I'm like, how much do I believe in this business? How long term do I see me doing this? Is it worth it? Like, this is everything I have. And I was horrified. And kind of long story short, I end up buying one, and I'm sitting there just staring at it, going, it's printing the CD, it's picking it up. I'm fascinated, like my mouth's open, just watching it, like, oh my God, look at this thing go! Holy crap!
I'm killing.
And
That's
before
what
I,
you're thinking.
yeah, before I know it, my daughter's 8 years old today. She's 2 days old, and I launched my website, $1CDDuplication.com. Within 2 months, I order a second machine. Within 7 or 8 months, I order a third machine. Within about a year and a half, I order a fourth machine. So it just kind of goes to show that, like, the bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. At the time,
Wow.
all I had was $3,500, and I was horrified. Well, again, less than 2 years later, I own 4 of the machines, and it's a no-brainer. Like, oh, I got to have more. I need another one. I need another one. So, yeah, that's my CD duplication.
Man, there's the part B. There's a B to that. There's the name. I also watched one of your podcast, or not a podcast. It's one of your vlogs or something that you had on YouTube.
Yes.
I watched almost everything you got. So I'm watching, and you said something about the name of how you thought it was really smart. You did not brand your dollar duplication business with the name Cracka Lack because you felt like it would have put you in a circle realm, and you couldn't have made it broaden your horizons, basically, because now you have like a broader fan base or people or customer clientele because you did not name it that, and you went one more of a name that's more a household name, is what you were kind of explaining on that particular YouTube.
Yeah, so before I start the website, I'm in the process of like, man, I'm doing everyone around Lansing, mid-Michigan's CD duplication. Like, if I had a website, I could do, the whole United States. The sky's the limit. So I wanted to come up with a name for the business. I got to get a .com, a domain name. And I'm thinking, okay, I'm Cracka Lack. Everyone knows me as Cracka Lack. My studio is kind of like Cracka Lack Studio at the time. If I shot a music video, it was Cracka Lack Films. So everything was Cracka Lack, based around Cracka Lack. So now I do CD duplication. All right, Cracka Lack, CDDuplication.com. So I designed this super hood-looking logo that looks like a stamp with like paint splatter around it, and it says Cracka Lack CD duplication. I go to GoDaddy, I buy a domain name, and I'm just looking at it, and I just started thinking, like, maybe I should give it its own identity, so that way it can one day be bigger than Cracka Lack. And if I was a country singer and I seen this super hood looking logo on this website, Cracka Lack CD duplicate, am I gonna really trust to use my credit card and spend money with this company or this dude, Cracka Lack? So I ended up going with $1 CD duplication, had a logo made. When you go to the website, I got a pretty blonde hair, blue eyes girl with a headset smiling that says 1-800-609-2641. Well, when they call that number, so there's a company called Grasshopper, $30 a month, you can get a 1-800 number for anything. You record your own greeting. My cousin is a realtor. She's got a normal woman voice. I said, hey, I need you to, I wrote this script out. I need you to say this for me. So she gets on the Grasshopper website and says, hello, thank you for calling $1CDDuplication.com, your home for all of your CD duplication needs. And she says, the whole spiel, blah, blah, blah. Press 1 to speak to one of our customer specialists. You press 1, then my phone rings and I see $1 CD duplication. So I got to always walk away from some people. Thank you for calling $1 CD duplication. This is Nick. How may I help you?
That's dope.
So when people are calling, and again, Cracka Lack CD duplication, my audience is rappers that know Cracka Lack. With $1 CD duplication, majority of my customers, I would say 95%, are not rap. It's lots of gospel, churches. They still get lots of CDs. I feel like there's a bunch of churches that go through my company, and it's like every Sunday they have a new CD to pass out, like 200-300 CDs to pass out to all the guests throughout the week and stuff. So yeah, sky's the limit with giving its own identity. There's country, there's pop, there's rock, there's metal, Spanish music, and there's a little bit of hip hop in there. But yeah, I'm so happy that I didn't call it Cracka Lack CD duplication.
Man, you wear a lot of hats, because another venture that you have is a clothing line. That's around the same time that the duplication company came out. Am I correct? from my little research that I did. I know that you have a clothing company, and it looks
Yes,
dope,
sir.
man. So
Thank you.
tell me a little bit about it.
You did some good research first, so props to you. And
That's what's up, man.
yeah, so my daughter was born in 2012. That's right when I started CD Duplication Company. She's about 1 years old. So in like 2013, me and my best friend, his passion was clothing. You know, at this point in time, I'm finding success in my little endeavors that I'm doing. And he knew that like locally I had some popularity, and he wanted a business partner to do the clothing line with. Well, I'm very into business, and around this time, like Shark Tank is my thing, and I'm watching it like Mark Cuban, Damon, all those guys. Was it Mr. Wonderful?
Oh yeah, man. That's all me and my family watch. I know that's one of
Yeah.
my favorite shows.
So I'm watching that show. I'm finally making a little bit of money, and I feel like I want to be a shark. Is what I'm getting at. And so here's my best friend that wants to have a clothing line. He's passionate about clothing, and I'm like, okay, I'm all about quality. If I start this clothing line with you, I hate, like, this is just a gem for people that have clothing lines. Like, stay far away from Gildan blanks, like Gildan t-shirts. They're the cheapest blank t-shirts that you can buy for a reason. They feel like sandpaper. They're super stiff and thick. So I've supported other clothing lines in the past, and one thing that I noticed was like lack of quality. Like it was like, I'm only wearing this shirt because I like you and I'm supporting you, but it's not comfortable at all, and I can't wait to take this off. It's how I felt supporting other people's clothing lines. Well, yeah, so I tell them, if I do it, I want to do it right. Is there a place we can go to where I can actually touch and feel like the fabrics? And I don't care if you can get a Gildan blank t-shirt for $1.50, or it might be $8 to get like something really nice. But what my goal is I want, if someone has one of a Royal Legacy clothing t-shirt, that it's going to be like one of their favorite shirts to pull out of the closet. And they're like, man, I like wearing this. It's comfortable. It makes me feel good. Like if a shirt's comfortable, you're going to wear it more. So that was the thing that we did out the gate. We start the clothing line in 2013. You know, I'm this up and coming wannabe shark entrepreneur guy, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I'm dipping in that. I got some money invested in Royal Legacy Clothing. I'm the business, the money behind it at the time. And yeah, so we came out with every single season. You know how like some clothing lines, they might just get some shirts made or some hoodies made. I said, no, it's not a one and done type thing. We're gonna be a real clothing line. We're gonna drop every season. So we came out in the summer, then we had a fall line, a winter line, a spring line, the summer line. We did it every single year for about 5 to 6 years. And then around this time, now we're like 2 years out, 2 years ago, my business partner buys a house, gets engaged. I had bought a house the year before. My Cracka Lack stuff is going crazy. And then what I learned more about clothing business, and like the best advice that I can give to anyone about business is when you sell something that people need, it like sells itself. No one needs a Royal Legacy clothing t-shirt. No one needs that hoodie. And it's really hard to make them want it. So you have to do a lot of work to get them to want that t-shirt that's $20, and there might be a handful of dollars that are left profitable, but you got to invest and like have clothes on deck. And it leads to, you get leftover clothes, and eventually my basement is full of, a leftover t-shirt from the 2014 summer line, and leftover hoodies from 2017, this and that, and everything's sitting there like, you pay for. So, and at the time, the Cracka Lack business continues to go up like this.
You seen yourself investing more in something that wasn't paying off as much as something that was. You're like, okay, I can keep investing into this, or I can keep riding with something that is working at the current time.
Yes, it's like people are beating my door down for Cracka Lack beats, studio time, music videos, and CD duplication. And meanwhile, I'm chasing people down, begging them to buy a Royal Legacy shirt. And I might make $4, but the other ways I'm making hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars. It's like, hey, this doesn't really make sense right now. Maybe we just, put pin in it, and we can come back to this another place, another time. And we are talking about this winter bringing it back, because the main thing was I didn't want to ever end it. If anything, it's like maybe we slow it down and we don't do every season. It's just, once a year we come out with some new shirts. When it gets cold out, we come out with some new hoodies or something like that. Because if you announce that something is like dead or out of style or out of business or it's gone,
it's over.
Yes, it's over. But at the same time, I look at it as all of the people that did support us, they spent their hard-earned money supporting us, wearing our clothes. Well, now they don't want to wear the clothes because they know that it's not a thing no more. It's not like a proud, like, oh, I got this on today. I'm proud. I'm supporting my friends. It's like, no, this is out of business. Like, let's just not wear those clothes no more.
That's a very true statement. So I have another great question. So now you have a lot, like I said, a lot of things going on. We keep talking about the studio, but now I know that it's time for you to invest. You're ready to move into a building. You're ready to make it official. You're ready to get that money, getting the studio time. You have clientele coming in and out. Where do you decide to open your first studio at when you do open up?
So the cool thing was there was a guy. So here in Lansing, it used to be called Studio 707.
Okay, let's talk about him. My brother. Let's talk about him.
Yeah, so there's a guy named Jesse who, shout out to Lakaz, is I think his godfather or his uncle.
Sir.
Well, Jesse wanted to put together, I always give the analogy like a barbershop. Let's say someone wanted to open a barbershop in Lansing, and they want to recruit the best barber from the south side, the best barber from the north side, the west side. They put them all in one shop. So now it's a no-brainer. Like, you get your haircut at this barbershop. It's the best barbershop. All the best barbers are right here. Well, at the time, I have a home studio, but meanwhile, the other big dogs that did studio time were here at Studio 707. Well, Jesse must have asked one of them, like, what are other studios that people record at? And everyone was like, Cracka Lack studio. So he said, I want Cracka Lack to, come work here then. So when they first reached out to me, and at the time, remember, I have a home studio. The rent is $0 for the studio. It's in my home. And I'm fine. It's not like customers were complaining like, oh, we're walking through your dining room and going in your basement to the studio. It's like, I don't know, maybe they thought that, but no one was complaining, and I was still busy and business wasn't hurting. So when they first reached out to me, I'm thinking like, why on earth would I ever? And so this is advice for people that are interested in maybe getting out the crib and having the studio somewhere else. Okay. Me at the time, I'm 23, 24. I'm 24 for sure. I have a home studio. I have clientele. I don't see any problem with having a home studio. They reach out to me. Hey, this guy Jesse, he wants you to be at Studio 707. Man, they got Lakaz there. They got DJ Eclipse. There was a few other people at the time too. Man, we want everyone to unite, come together, all under one roof. And I'm like, I hear all that. I understand that, but you want me to pay rent? Why would I spend $200, $300, $400 a month on rent when, I'm here? Well, once the seed was planted in my head, now anytime a home studio type of situation happened over the next like month, I'm like, yep, I need to get out of here. I need to get my own studio. Maybe I should call him right now, or someone would be banging on the door and, wake my dad up at night to come to the studio. And I'm like, I need to get my own studio. I need to get out of the house. So I make the leap. I come to the studio. I remember the first week, I'm just in the studio kind of putting up posters or something like that. In walks a person. Hey, can I get some studio time? I go to Michigan State. I Googled recording studios and I found you guys. And boom, I had my first like walk-in type customer. We exchanged numbers. He probably spent $2,000 over the next 2 months on studio time and beats and CD duplication.
That's dope.
Well, then now there's a public hallway with a bathroom. You got to let people in. I'm like, oh, wow, this is so much more professional. I will never in my life have another home studio open to the public. So take the leap, get out of your house if you can. Now, if you're just doing beats or you're doing mixing and mastering at home,
production is the big
that's
difference.
Different. Do that at home for sure.
But this is different because you got people coming in and out, and it's about your comfortability too. And not everybody, you don't feel comfortable with everybody in your house. So
Very
that's
true.
just so I feel you on that one. So now you have Crack House Studios. That's what you named it? That was the first name that you gave it?
So I don't remember who it was, but one day I'm recording someone, and it had no name. It just says Cracka Lack all over the walls back then. And so I just was like, I'm Cracka Lack. This is my studio. There was no title. And on the intro of someone's song, he was like, yeah, he said his name, live from the crack house, live from the crack house. I'm like, oh, that's dope. Live from the crack. I like that. Well, then another rapper, he's working on a project, and it was like he had this whole like theatrical style of like me and him were these two bad guys, and we work out of the crack house cooking, and Cracka Lack is cooking this crack and stuff. Like he had this whole thing, and I liked it, and so I ran with it, and turned it into a real business, and now I branded it. Like I don't know if you see behind me, but everywhere in this room you see the Crack House logo everywhere. Yeah.
Oh, you heavy on branding yourself. One thing about that, I don't understand how you have so many hours in a day. You remind me of a E.T. Thomas type work ethic. I'm like, yo, this dude got
I love E.T.
I'm like, what's going on? Yo, okay, man, I'm telling you, that's the type of stuff I'll be motivated by. It's all about what you put into you is what you put out too, man. I start putting all that garbage in me, man. I start listening to motivational things, inspirational people, start following blueprints, and start keeping it real and reaching out to people that I look at. Because you interviewed somebody Busy Work Beats, that's somebody I follow, you know what I'm saying, heavily. And I seen that was dope to me that you actually did that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's like somebody people think they can't, he's unattainable. You know what I'm saying? And you did it, and you was like one of your first podcasts.
That's what I love about podcasts. Like, God bless your soul. You said something like on the intro, like, look who I got on my podcast. Like that made me smile in the background.
Yeah.
But again, having a podcast, you're asking someone to come on and like share their story with your audience. So I feel like if you reached out to me after this and said, hey, my niece is going to start a podcast, she's 13 and she wants you to be the first guest, like I'm going to do that. So with a guy like Busy Works Beats, at the time he had like 750,000 subscribers on YouTube,
exactly.
Like this monster. And yeah, I'm like, yo, I'm Cracka Lack. I do this, and this. I'm starting a podcast. I'd love for you to be a guest. It'll take about this long. I'll send you a link. And he was like, cool, let's do it. Can we do it this day, this time? I'm like, oh man.
That's how it works. But he also probably seen you working too, though. You know what I'm saying? If you looked at your page, man, it was really organized, very professional. You have a lot of content. Those type of things play a role.
Very, very much so. Very much.
Yeah, so we ain't even gonna jump to the podcast part because we almost there. I mean, are we in the studio? You working with name some of the people that you've worked with out of the Crack House studio. Name some of the artists, Lansing artists and out of town artists that you've worked with.
I mean, to even name a few would be hard. I would say there's about 100 people a month that come here.
Wow.
So that's a decent amount of people.
Yeah.
As far as like celebrities, there's a few like T-Rel, Lil White, Best Believe.
Best Believe he goes hard. You guys are a good team. You know what I'm saying? That's you make some of your best work with him visually and audio. You know what I'm saying? Somehow you guys got that chemistry. You got, you know what I'm saying? Now like Timberland, Missy type, Snoop Dre type. Sometimes you have that person you have crazy chemistry with,
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there's an artist named Basic. Shout out to Basic.
Basic's probably my favorite out of all of them because I just watched like 2 videos of him before you came on. You know what I'm saying? I ultimately like that's the number one to me that I love when y'all work together. The number one.
Yeah, it could. And what happened was we seen that the audience like told us that. So it just started off, he's a normal customer that came to the studio, got some studio time, got some beats. It led to shoot the music video. And then honestly, we did that a few more times. Mm-hmm. And one of his music videos, it was like his 3rd music video, it just started taking off. And before it's taken, so it wasn't all about the views taking off or success. He was hilarious. I used to like look forward. I mean, exactly. If you have a certain customer coming, you're like, this guy's a little bit of a headache, whatever. Oh, this person's coming. Oh, I can't wait. Like, he's hilarious. He's so funny. This session's going to be fun. Like, it's crazy that I'm going to get paid for this. And I used to think that when he would come to the studio. So I already liked him personally. And then the music video starts taking off. It's 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000. So I'm like, all right, look, and at this time, this is about 3.5 years ago. Um, the moral of this story is like perception's a bad mother. I don't know if you can swear on this or not, but perception's a big thing. Um, you have to look busy to attract people. So at the time, I'm noticing.
Just learning that. I'm learning that.
I'm noticing. I'm into my YouTube. You know, I want to put out a lot of content, a lot of vlogs. Well, I can't put a lot of behind the scenes of shooting music video vlogs and stuff if I'm not actually shooting a lot of music videos. So there was Basic at the time, and there was another artist named Eastside Cheese, and both of them were easy to work with. Both of them, you know, we mutually respected one another. I believed in both of them. They're both talented, good artists. What are easy to work with. They give me full creative control on shooting music videos and stuff. So I'm like, all right. At this time, I believe music videos were like $500. And again, I'm not that busy at the time, and I need to be busy. And I found a dude to do behind the scene pictures of me, behind the scene videos, so I can get YouTube content. So I had the pieces in place. I just need to be more busy. So I said, all right, Basic, you have this video taken off. This could be an opportunity of a lifetime. And then the same thing with Cheese. I believed in Cheese, Eastside Cheese. Let me make it. I don't believe in handouts. I don't believe in free. I feel like if you give anyone anything for free or a handout, they don't appreciate it. So
that is fact. Say that one more time, loud and clear.
If you give handouts or things for free, it ends up backfiring in your face. People take it for granted. They don't appreciate it. So as long as someone is paying you something, they should appreciate it. You know, there's that transaction that's happening. If you do it for free, there's no transaction happening. Out of sight, out of mind. With a lot of people, I'm different. If you said that you charge $500 for a specific thing right now that I needed, and then you offered to like do that for free right now, takes
the value down so much.
Yeah. But I was gonna say I'm, I guess, smart enough or appreciative enough to acknowledge that was $500, and I greatly appreciate it. And I understand that you're doing this for free in exchange, you know, not in exchange for $500, but. So I have Basic, Eastside Cheese, and I'm like, okay, I need a good handful of artists, at least you guys, that I can continuously work with consistently. But at the same time, I know if I'm you guys, and if music videos start off at $500, not to put your guys' budgets or most people out there, but most artists can't afford $500 to $1,000 extra a month to put into like a music career or something like that. Most people can't. So I'm like, okay, I don't believe in free. Here, let me give you guys a deal. Okay, I'll take $10 off an hour for studio time. So now instead of like, at the time, I think it was like $50. So I'm like, instead of 50, let's do 40. So you're still paying. I'm still getting paid. So if nothing happens with you guys or you guys don't amount to anything, and hopefully you do, I can't say, oh man, that was a huge investment that I gave. I still got something out of it up front. And at the same time, you guys are getting a discounted rate on things. So I did $10 off an hour for studio time. And then I think beats were $250 to $300. I'm like, look, give me $100 a beat. So now I'm still getting paid, but it's affordable. And then music videos were like $500, $600. I'm like, I'll do $300 music videos. But here's the thing. I know kind of how the game works right now. And it seems like as a music artist, you need more content. You need way more videos out there. So if you guys can commit to a new music video every single month for the next 24 months, I promise that you guys will be in a position to start like monetizing your music and have a fan base enough to where you can come out with some shirts and sell out and make thousands of dollars. Come out with a new single and get thousands of streams and things like that. And Basic, I think for like 27, 28, maybe almost 2.5 years, like 30 months. Every single month there was a new video. It was a new video.
Yeah, man. So when did you guys decide to actually start vlogging your guys' sessions and your music videos? Because that's how I caught wind. Because Basic to me, I'm like, because you guys, like you said, you guys needed that work and you put in that work. And one of the things that you were doing that other people weren't doing around the area, at least I would say, because people in the world were doing it, but in a particular area, they weren't doing a lot of vlogging when it came down to their whole session and their music video. So what made y'all do that?
Well, what made me do it was, again, I used to be a rapper up until I was about 22, 23 when I had a kid. And I always tell people I wasn't an attention whore, but I really enjoyed how the artist is always the person that is known, the rapper. You know, it's kind of like, who's that? Oh, that's Ludacris's cameraman. That's Ludacris's producer. That's Ludacris's engineer. It's not like, oh no, that's John Johnson, the producer, or John Johnson, it's kind of like that's Ludacris's guy. So when I was going through this transitional phase of I can't find my voice, man, I put out 16 albums. Like, I feel like if I stopped my career as a music artist, like, I just wasted so much time and energy and years doing all this music stuff. Like, this is so much momentum that I build up, and I'm just gonna walk away from it. Well, and then it's kind of funny, but I pictured the behind the scene guy, like no one cares about the engineer, no one cares about the guy that made the beat, no one cares about the cameraman, and I'm picturing like this big, fat, bearded, warlock looking guy. Is when I was 22, 23, this is what I pictured. Is the behind the scene guy is this big, fat, warlock guy that no one cares about. No one wants him. And he's not special. He's not important. Well, at the time, I was still doing some vlogs, some behind the scenes with my rap stuff. So I'm like, okay, I still want to put out content. I like that feeling of knowing when I was a rapper, I'm shooting a music video Saturday. Everyone pull up Saturday. It's an event. It's the Cracka Lack music video. And then I get a haircut for it. I buy a new outfit, this, that, and the other. Like, that was a cool thing for me. It was special as a music artist. So I'm like, I still want to do that, even if I'm just doing the behind the scenes stuff. So that's where it was like, okay, I'm going to just put the spotlight on the behind the scenes. I'm going to show people it's still cool. I'm Cracka Lack. I'm still here. I'm not rapping no more, but I'm making beats. Let me walk you guys through how I make some beats. Let me show you guys me in the studio with this artist, with this artist, with this artist. Like, I know that I work hard, and out of sight, out of mind. If I'm not showing people that I'm working hard, how are they going to know that I'm working hard? So without shoving it in their face, I put out lots of content, lots of vlogs, lots of behind the scenes pictures.
Yeah, but what you do a lot, you do a great job of breaking it up with your family, though. That's another thing I wanted to talk about. You highlight family a lot in what you do, which is a beautiful thing. That's something that we need to see. You show that I work hard, but they're part of my hard work, and this is kind of the payoff. So let's talk about that, because I know that your girl does a lot of work with you. Your daughter's everywhere with you, man. So let's talk about having them a part of what you're doing when you are vlogging, when you are doing your video shoots. Let's talk about that a little bit, if you could.
Yeah, like, I always been very open and transparent. I'm not like a closed off person. And I if I had to ask you, do you feel like prior to us meeting for the first time right now that you kind of already knew me?
Yeah.
After meeting me?
Yeah. I mean, after meeting you, it was like I'm learning more detailed things, but the way you put your content together, I feel like I know who you are as an artist and who you are as artist in general, because that's what you are.
Yeah, well, thank you. So, yeah, just with documenting your journey, bringing people into your life, kind of showing people who I am and what I do. Again, there's no shame in my game. So I'm a dad. I feel like if someone watches my vlogs, I don't want to be misleading. I don't want to only put out content based around like I'm making a beat every single day for 10 beats a day, blah blah blah. It's like, no, I have a family, so my idea of a perfect vlog is going to show a little bit of some CD orders going in and out. Maybe pull up to the studio, you get to see it, making some beats, and then I go shoot a music video. My daughter comes up and I'm making some dinner, and my girlfriend's helping me do this, this, and this, and then I'm really motivated and inspired, and I share my thoughts with the camera, and it connects with someone out there, and then they're just inspired, and they like tuning in to see the work ethic, the process, seeing that you can do lots of different things, still balancing your life and having time for family. Like, that's my idea of the perfect like vlog YouTube video for me.
Man, and not only that, I'd love to talk about, to me, I don't know, like I said, I don't live in Lansing, I just watch from afar. The number one thing you're known for right now is your videography. Cracka Lack Films is on top of your game right now, man. Salute to you, all that hard work, all them videos you did. I got the reel for 2020. That was the 19 one. But let's talk about what made you. I know what made you get into videography because you said you're trying to be a one-stop shop. You already had the duplication. You was already engineering the sessions. You already had the beats. Now you got to give them the visual. I got your back all the way around the board is what you're doing at Crack House Studios. So when did you actually start doing the filming?
I would say about a decade ago. And at the time, I was still rapping. And so I started doing the videos because I needed videos. And then again, whether people liked my art as a music artist, whether you like my songs or not, people still respected like the work ethic, the amount of content I put out, and then people still appreciated my beats, my mixing and mastering quality, the quality of the video. So around the time when I quit, so many people were like, yo, I like your beats. Thank you. How much would you charge to make beats for me? Oh, okay. I can make a lot of money. Do this, this, and this. What studio do you record at? I record at my own studio. How much would you charge for studio time for me? I like your videos. Who shoots your videos? Like, oh, well, I edit them, put it all together. I know how to shoot a video better than my girlfriend. So yeah, then it just turned into I use myself.
She heard that too, just to let you know.
I use myself as a guinea pig, and that's because not to get off topic, but there's a lot of music artists that reach out to me, and they're interested in doing something else outside of music artists. So it could be like getting into recording, mixing, and mastering, getting into making beats, or getting into shooting videos. And I tell all of them, like, be your own guinea pig. You already need those things. So like you win because you get free videos if you learn how to shoot videos. And yes, your first video is going to be bad, but your second video is going to be better. And then the next one's going to be better. And at the same time, you're getting free videos that you already need. You're keeping money in your pocket. But yeah.
Yeah. So, man, before we get out of here, man, I definitely appreciate you coming on the show, man. We unveiled a lot of different things that people might not have known about Cracka Lack, and I definitely appreciate you. But I want to play a music video, any video you want me to play, man. It's up to you. We're going to go out with one of your videos. And plus, before we even get into that, I need to know, is there anything else you would like to share? And how can people get a hold to Cracka Lack right now if they needed to?
Yeah. If you're on Instagram, it's Cracka_Lack. If you're on Facebook, Cracka Lack. On YouTube, Cracka Lack TV. You can send me an email at crackalackmusic@gmail.com. If you need CD duplication, $1cdduplication.com. I don't know if I said it or not. If you need beats, crackalackbeats.com. Yeah.
All right.
That should be
all right, man. So we right now, man. What music video would you like me to go into?
I want you to pull up the country music video.
Yeah, man. How many views do you? Speaking of that, oh man, I can't leave without asking you about that. That video is when I went to it, man. It has over 1 million views. Let's just talk about it. Like 1.23, something like that, right?
Yeah, she's a big deal. Shout out to Katie.
Let's talk about her.
When she, believe it or not, how that all happened stemmed from me working with Bizarre from D12
Wow.
Eminem's. Yeah, so she has a manager, so she's a little white 21-year-old country singer, but her manager at the time was a older black guy from Florida, all gold teeth, very big into hip hop. And so he knew or seen that I worked with Bizarre, and from that point discovered who I was, kept an eye on me. And then I guess what he told me after I finally worked with her during the country video was, man, I've been, she's hard-headed. For the last year, I've been trying to convince her to work with you. But she was like, no. It took me a year to convince her to work with you. Here you are. Like, I hope you don't drop the ball. That's pretty much what he said to me. Granted, at this time, I had never shot a country music video in my life. So
I was wondering.
So that was a big thing. And then 3, she was very popular, verified, maybe 250,000 subscribers, 250,000 followers on Instagram. So I knew instantly she's a big deal. There's a lot of pressure and things leading up to this. And then when I heard the song, me not, I don't ride around and jam out to country, but I respect all types of music. But when I heard this, I'm like, oh, even if I don't listen to country music, like I can tell this is a hit song. Like this song is great. The beat is perfect. The song is perfect. Their voices, the mixing, like this song.
You just had a vision instantly, probably.
What's awesome about Katie is she has her own vision, and it's a great vision. Where sometimes when you're a videographer, in the past, there are some people that I've worked with, and they may have their own vision, but it might not be that good. It might be like, I want to walk into the party store and get a Faygo, and then I'm going to roll up a blunt, and then I'm going to smoke it in my front seat. It's like, no, I can't do that. I can't do it. It's not a good vision. But then with artists like Katie, yes, absolutely. Great vision. She was like, oh, I rented out this horse riding stable. I'm like, oh, that'd be perfect for this video. Oh, I rented out this bar. We got a farm. Oh, that'd be perfect. It was like everything that she had suggested was like, great idea, great idea, great idea. Okay, you have the locations that I need to do a great video. Let me figure out the exact shots that I need and which order to kind of put them in and things like that. But really, the whole vision was hers. And so I always credit her. I think I've done 4 videos for her now. And all of them I credit like video concept by Katie Noel, because she really does come up with the concept. There's only been one where I had full freedom to come up with it. And that one actually hasn't came out yet.
Okay, man. Without any further ado, Cracka Lack, once again, thank you, my brother, for coming on. Stay in the back, man, so I can chop it up with you. But without further ado, sir, can you please introduce this video?
This is Katie Noel, Miss Tennessee. This is the first of many country music videos that you will see me shoot. Check it out.
She's a Saturday on a creek bank that turned into a bonfire night. She's 10 legs swinging from my tailgate. She's Jack Daniels on ice. Baby, I'm more than just a back row good time, and I'm more than just bourbon on ice. Shotgun rider, I got a little wild side. Hang with the boys, I blow your mind. She's got a go-balls hat sliding across the dashboard. Lost in her eyes, she's my backwoods passport. My blue jean baby, my tailgate queen, in a Scottsdale Chevy with a 3 on the tree. She's changing my stations, I'm still in her heart. She's rocky top playing on a steel guitar. She's a Lynchburg double shot, ice cold coke and whiskey. She's Miss Tennessee. She's in bell bottoms dancing the Copperhead Road. She's where the corn grows and rows and rows. She wants to slide in close to me, be my 6-string angel in my shotgun seat. I'm a 2-step down at the Cotton Eye Joe. I'm a Morgan Wallen song on your radio. I'm a Smoky Mountain High sipping on a Bud Light. Little bug shot through a stop sign. She's got a go-balls hat sliding across the dashboard. Lost in her eyes, she's my backwoods passport. My blue jean baby, my tailgate queen, in a Scottsdale Chevy with a 3 on the tree. She's changing my stations, I'm still in her heart. She's rocky top playing on a steel guitar. She's a Lynchburg double shot, ice cold coke and whiskey. She's Miss Tennessee. She's home, she's where I wanna be. She's a hot summer night, she's sipping on peach moonshine. She's out of my league, she's a Tyler Childers song stuck on repeat. She's got a go-balls hat sliding across the dashboard. Lost in her Chevy with a 3 on the tree. She's changing my stations. I'm stealing her heart. She's rocky top playing on a steel guitar. She's a Lynchburg double shot of ice cold coke and whiskey. She's Miss Tennessee. Miss Tennessee.
All right, now, Crack, man. What an amazing video. What an amazing video. It didn't even seem like that was you, bro. I ain't gonna lie, man. That seemed like it don't seem like I'm talking to the dude that just shot that video, man. I ain't gonna lie.
That's funny. That's what other people were saying. Like when it posted, they're like, yo, you just leveled up a lot.
Dog, yes.
Well, and I know, talk a little bit more about videography and kind of where the music videos are going. Like that video is an example of the bigger the budget, like, you know, you can show more what you're capable of, you know? So if I'm doing a video for a rapper in a parking lot, like it doesn't matter how sweet I am, how much experience I have, like there's only so much I can do with what I'm working with. Well, when you have an artist like that, that's like, oh yeah, I'll rent the horse riding stable, the barn, the this, the that. It's like, oh man, you're giving me the tools that I need to do a great video. So it's all on me.
And that's what that was, man. And like I'm saying, man, without a doubt, man, it's been a pleasure having you on, man. Like I said, everybody follow Cracka Lack, man. He's on YouTube. Follow him. Follow him on Facebook. Follow him. I'll put the links in the descriptions below, man. So without any more to say, man, I want to tell you, thank you, my G, for coming on, man. It's been an awesome show. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you for having me on here. I'm glad we connected, and I look forward to like connecting more with you in the future and staying in contact about
Hold
different
on, man.
things.
I just bought some camera equipment, man. I'm about to be watching. I'm definitely enjoying your whatever you have going. I'd have a whole bunch of money, but I went and got me a little G85 Lumix, and I got me a little got the little kit. You know, I got that. I'm straight. At least it's 4K. You know,
there you go. There you go.
I started off decent. You know, I got the Premiere Pro. I got a little bit going on, so I'm gonna talk to you, man. I'm gonna need your help.
I got you.
All right, now, man. Thanks for coming on, G.
Thanks for having me.
And once again, man, thank everybody for tuning in, man. I have had another amazing episode today, man. It was with Cracka Lack on the track. So make sure you follow him, man. Cracka Lack Beats, man. Get some of them tracks. Once again, like I tell y'all every time, man, I'm out.